Microphone motivational speech outline. Authenticity connects us, section 1. The electrifying hook, the power of showing up as you grabs attention with a raw human story or a confronting truth about authenticity. Evokes an emotional, visceral reaction, how hiding behind a mask destroys connection. Highlights the deep human need for genuine connection, the ache of feeling unseen. Establishes the why of authenticity with vivid storytelling and psychological depth. Uses a stirring metaphor, e.g., we're wearing masks so perfectly we forget our own face. Ends with an emotional question or challenge. What's the cost of hiding? Are you willing to pay it? Section 2. The unstoppable truth, how authenticity liberates you and connects you to others, shares powerful insights on how authenticity builds unbreakable trust, attracts the right people, and repels those who can't align with you. Integrates real-life examples of people who embraced their truth and transformed relationships, careers, and inner peace. Explains the psychological principles behind vulnerability and connection, mirroring, emotional resonance, oxytocin. Introduces the idea that the courage to be real is the fastest way to filter fake people and discover profound relationships. Challenges the audience to release the fear of judgment and recognize the magnetic power of being unapologetically themselves. Section 3. The practical shift steps to step into your truth every day offers tangible steps for building authenticity into daily life. Journaling, setting boundaries, speaking truth. Shares a visualization exercise to step into your true self before every interaction. Explains how micro habits of truthfulness accumulate into seismic shifts in relationships and confidence. Encourages embracing discomfort as the gateway to genuine human connection. Section 4. The emotional crescendo, the cost of inauthenticity, and the call to be unapologetically you paints a vivid picture of what a life of inauthenticity feels like. Silent suffering, shallow relationships, internal conflict. Shifts into an empowering crescendo. But it doesn't have to be that way. The moment you drop the mask, you become magnetic, powerful, unforgettable. Closes with a resounding call to action, to step into the world raw, real, and true, and to watch how everything, love, connection, purpose, unfolds. Ends with a dramatic, memorable final line. Because the real you isn't just enough. It's exactly what the world is waiting for. Now, let's expand the first section with the exact style you requested. High energy, electrifying, emotionally compelling, flowing with deep psychological insight and inspirational force. Expanded section 1. The electrifying hook, the power of showing up as you have you ever felt it. That quiet, gnawing ache in your chest, the one that whispers, they don't really know you. It's the weight you carry when you're in a room full of people, laughing, smiling, nodding at the right moments, and yet inside, you're screaming for someone, anyone, to see the real you. We put on masks so perfectly, we forget we're even wearing them. We shape ourselves into what we think the world wants, into something palatable, pleasing, acceptable. But here's the crushing truth. The more we hide behind those masks, the more we starve ourselves of the one thing we crave most, real connection. Connection isn't built on perfect words, flawless facades, or curated versions of ourselves. It's built on truth, on raw, unfiltered, unapologetic you. And every day you hide, every day you shapeshift into what's expected, you're stepping further and further from the very thing your soul is screaming for. Think about it. When was the last time you felt truly seen, truly heard? Not for the roles you play or the accomplishments you've gathered, but for the raw human being you are underneath all of it. You know what it feels like to be that person. It's why authenticity builds trust faster than any carefully crafted persona ever could. But let's get real. Authenticity isn't easy. It's messy. It means you might be misunderstood. You might lose people who are only there for the edited version of you. You might face criticism, rejection, or silence. But here's the truth. The people who walk away weren't meant for the real you. They were meant for the mask. And when they leave, they make space for the ones who are waiting, not for your perfection, but for your presence. Look at the people you admire most. Not the ones with the biggest followings or the most curated lives, but the ones who leave you feeling energized, alive, understood. What sets them apart? It's not their achievements or their polished image. It's their realness, their willingness to say, this is me. Here's what I believe. Here's what I've struggled with. And here's how I'm moving forward. That's the kind of honesty that moves mountains. That's the kind of truth that inspires revolutions, whether it's in relationships, in business, or in your own heart. Authenticity liberates you from the exhausting game of performance. It sets you free from the constant anxiety of, am I enough? Do they like me? Am I fitting in? When you decide to stand in your truth, you reclaim your energy. You stop bleeding your soul dry, trying to please people who don't even see the real you. You become unshakable, not because everyone agrees with you, but because you finally agree with yourself. I want you to imagine this. What would your life look like if you stopped apologizing for who you are? If you stopped watering yourself down to make others comfortable? If you stopped editing your truth in fear of judgment? What doors would open? What connections would deepen? What dreams would finally take flight? You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. In fact, it's your imperfections, your scars, your stories, your truth that make you unforgettable. When you're real, you resonate. When you're real, you build trust that no carefully crafted image can replicate. You show the world that you're human, and in doing so, you give others permission to do the same. Here's what I want you to remember. Authenticity isn't just about you. It's about the ripple effect you create when you choose truth over pretense. When you stand in your authenticity, you send a message to everyone watching. It's safe to be real. It's safe to be human. It's safe to be you. And that message is more powerful, more transformative than any mask you could ever wear. So today, make the decision. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to show up as yourself. Stop waiting for everyone to approve before you speak your truth. The ones who matter will lean in. The ones who don't will step back. And that's how it should be. Because the real you, the unfiltered, unapologetic, radiant you, is not just enough. It's the very thing the world is starving for. Section 3 in the same style, high energy, emotionally compelling, deeply motivational, and packed with actionable insights. This section will expand to and carry the transformative momentum forward. Expanded Section 3, the courage to choose truth over comfort, how to make authenticity your superpower. Here's the raw truth. Authenticity isn't a one-time decision. It's a practice, a choice you make every single day. And make no mistake, it's not the easy path. It's the path of courage. It's the decision to choose truth over comfort, connection over performance, depth over surface-level approval. But let me tell you something most people never understand. The moment you stop betraying yourself to keep others happy is the moment you become unstoppable. Why? Because authenticity isn't just about honesty. It's about alignment. It's about bringing your thoughts, your words, and your actions into harmony. When you live in alignment, you stop leaking energy into the cracks of pretending. You stop playing the exhausting game of trying to be what everyone else wants, and suddenly you have clarity, focus, power. You become a force of nature because you're no longer holding yourself back. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have this unshakable confidence, this magnetic pull that draws others in? It's not because they've mastered every social skill or because they're perfect. It's because they've made peace with themselves. They've looked in the mirror and said, this is who I am. I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. I'm here to live my truth, not someone else's script. That kind of radical self-acceptance is rare, and it's revolutionary. It frees you from the chains of external validation. You no longer need to chase approval because you're already anchored in your own worth. And here's the beautiful paradox. The moment you stop chasing approval, you start attracting the right people and opportunities. Because authenticity acts like a magnet. It draws in what's aligned and repels what isn't. Let's get practical. How do you make authenticity your superpower in a world that rewards pretense? You start by listening. Listen to the whispers of your intuition. Listen to the tug in your chest when something doesn't feel right. Listen to the quiet knowing that tells you when you're compromising your values for temporary acceptance. And when you hear those whispers, honor them. Speak your truth, even when your voice shakes. Set boundaries that protect your peace. Walk away from people or situations that demand you shrink yourself to fit. Will it be uncomfortable? Absolutely. Growth always is, but discomfort is temporary. Regret is forever. Understand this. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, you're rewiring your brain. You're strengthening the neural pathways that support courage, resilience, and self-trust. You're teaching yourself that you can survive rejection, judgment, and discomfort and come out stronger. That's how you build unshakable confidence, not from external praise, but from the deep knowing that you have your own back. Here's a challenge for you. This week, take one bold action that reflects your authentic self. Maybe it's having that honest conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's expressing your real feelings instead of hiding behind a smile. Maybe it's finally pursuing that passion project you've been afraid to start because it doesn't fit the mold of a success. Whatever it is, do it. Show yourself that you can stand in your truth, even when it's scary. And remember, authenticity isn't about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about showing up as the full, unfiltered version of yourself, messy, complex, and human. It's about allowing others to see not just your strength, but also your vulnerability. That's what makes you relatable. That's what makes you magnetic. So today, I challenge you to stop asking, what do they want from me? And start asking, what is true for me? Stop shrinking yourself to fit into boxes that were never meant for you. Start expanding into the fullness of who you are. The world doesn't need another copy of someone else. The world needs you, raw, real, unapologetic. You have a choice. You can keep playing small, blending in, living someone else's idea of success. Or you can step into your truth and live a life that feels deeply aligned, deeply fulfilling, and deeply connected. The path won't be easy, but it will be worth it. Because authenticity doesn't just change your life. It changes the lives of everyone who crosses your path. The choice is yours. Absolutely. Here's section 4, expanded with powerful motivation and a strong call to action to close your speech with unforgettable impact, of electrifying energy and deep inspiration. When you stand at the crossroads of your life, there's a question that defines everything. Will you choose comfort or will you choose authenticity? It's the most critical decision you'll ever make because it determines the quality of every relationship you have, the depth of your fulfillment, and the legacy you leave behind. Here's the truth. Comfort is a lie disguised as safety. It whispers in your ear that it's easier to hide, to play small, to pretend. But every moment you choose comfort over truth, you're dimming your light. You're telling yourself that being seen, being vulnerable, being fully alive is too risky, and that's a painful betrayal of your own potential. Authenticity, on the other hand, is freedom. Freedom from masks, freedom from pretending, freedom to live your life on your terms with raw honesty and fierce courage. It's not just a personal victory. It's a revolutionary act that changes the energy in every room you enter. It's the reason your voice matters. It's the reason your story can inspire someone who's on the edge of giving up. So here's what you must do now. You must make a vow to yourself, first and foremost, that you will never settle for anything less than your real self. Promise to show up as your full, brilliant, imperfect self every single day. No more hiding, no more apologies for your truth. It won't be easy. People will challenge you. You will face moments of doubt. But those moments are your proving ground. They are the tests that shape you into the person you're destined to become. And with every challenge, your authenticity grows stronger, your confidence becomes unbreakable, and your presence becomes undeniable. Remember, the world needs your voice, your passion, your realness. When you live authentically, you become a beacon for others who are lost in their own shadows. You create ripples of courage and honesty that spread far beyond what you can see. Right now, I want you to visualize the future you want. See yourself surrounded by people who love you for exactly who you are. See yourself thriving in work that excites you, living with purpose and joy. Feel the power of being fully aligned with your deepest truth every day. Now, take a deep breath and make this moment your turning point. Choose authenticity. Choose to live boldly, courageously, and unapologetically. Because when you do, you unlock a life of extraordinary connection, boundless energy, and unstoppable fulfillment. This is your call to action. Step into your truth today. Speak your heart, live your values, and show the world the incredible power of being authentically you. The journey starts now, and nothing will ever be the same.